Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Let's Play Dead Space 2. Last time we shut the lights off and we may have inadvertently caused a massacre. And as such, this fight is kind of our fault. We gave that infector plenty of bodies to work with. Isaac found himself surrounded by EarthGov forces and kind of backed into a corner last time, so we shut the lights off to try to get past them, and in doing so, we may have let a lot of necromorphs get to him and slaughter all of them. Mistakes were made. Lessons were learned, yada yada. It's okay. It's not actually that big a deal. We'll get through this just fine. Dozens and dozens of... I believe Tideman said 200. 200 soldiers with rifles trained on the door. All dead. Isaac's fine. It's all good.
Isaac, where are you going?
I don't know.
Well, that's why I'm here, Isaac. To show you the way.
I think it's super goofy how she literally shows you the way with an orange locator beacon. And it's also really unnecessary, even setting aside the kind of visual metaphor. It's kind of unnecessary because the way forward is extremely linear.
Research log 43509. I can't stop thinking about the formulas from patient 4's last session. They're so clearly ordered, they keep playing back. The final configuration seems within reach. I can almost solve it myself. It's funny. I was telling Travis the other day that it's almost like it wants us to succeed. I've never seen anything like it. Once we finally solve this heuristic stabilization problem, we should be able to start growing the layers of the marker from the mineral baths.
Yeah. It almost is like it wants to be solved. Imagine that. Okay, I don't have time for your shit today. Not now. Oh no. I don't like the noises they're making right now. I mean, they're the same ones as always, but... oh, God. I'll maybe explain more about that in a moment. I do believe we'll have a little bit of dialogue coming up. Oh, not before we have a big fight. So, what I'm going to do here, hopefully this plan works out pretty well, is I'm just going to push straight on in, deal with the infector, deal with all the stuff that was over here, and then try to hold this position back here. Oh, perfect. Because once we get this under control a little bit, we should be okay to hold it. It's just that initial burst of bad stuff is all kind of concentrated right in the center. Okay, no. This position's now compromised because... oh, God, God. Okay, let's try something else. I completely underestimated how quick they move. Still, aside from getting hit by a puke ball, that didn't go too bad. There's a little scramble there at the end, but it was okay. And I do believe there is, somewhere in this room, another audio log from Kinner. Kinner is a little bit of an oddball, as we're going to come to find out.
The dampening system built into the shielding around the marker test bed should be blocking the signal entirely, but I swear the dementia signal is still getting through. Not a single thing registers on any sensor outside the shield walls. You know, put the same sensor inside with the marker and it goes off the charts. So we either missed something entirely or I don't know what. You know, if we have... Oh man, please heaven help us.
The dementia blocker is such techno-babble garbage. So anyway, I goofed up and forgot that in order for the acrostic that I'm making with the titles to make any kind of sense at all, I would have to have all of the episodes of Dead Space wrapped up and out before Halloween. And I had forgotten about that, and the upload schedule slipped a bit, and I think I had 6 episodes left to put up when Ben helpfully reminded me of this. And like 6 days to go before Halloween, that's when I was reminded of that. And I get on a plane when I'm recording this tomorrow. Also, you can hear a divider just bust through a ceiling tile. So we got that waiting for us. So I've been on a marathon recording session, and I took a little break because I got hungry. So I went to go get food, and I've had a powerful craving for tacos. Trust me, this story's going somewhere. Given that there's nowhere good nearby, and I was too lazy to just make tacos myself, I went to Taco Bell, a place where I never ever go because I hate Taco Bell. But my hunger was stronger than my memory. So I went there, and it turned out to be a mistake that I gravely regret now, because I am dying. I shoveled a garbage explosion burrito down my gullet and a shit fire of a taco. And now I'm dying. I'm fucking dying. And speaking of my irradiated colon, you know how the monster designers for Dead Space used some heavy-duty reference material to get the look of the necromorphs? Like they would study photos of car crash victims and all sorts of like parasitic fungi. Nope. Well, there's a great piece on Gamasutra that I came across recently about how gory games mentally affect the developers, and it's just a solid read. Like, they have this really good anecdote from a Halo 3 environmental artist who worked on the flood-infested Covenant ship, who talks about how he studied mycology textbooks and colonoscopy videos to get inspiration for how it was supposed to look. And after working on the level and seeing all this stuff for months and months on end, he went from thinking, this is a cool idea, to being like haunted by images of tumors and other disgusting things that would just seep into his everyday life and thoughts at random. There's not really a point to this, I just thought I'd make a nice companion piece since we talked about some of the Dead Space reference material earlier. I'm gonna try to link it in the comments. Oh, that's an enhanced stalker. Oh, you are gonna give me fits today, aren't you? Can't you see I'm dying? Oh. But yeah, Taco Bell is the goddamn worst. I think the last time I had something good there was a quesarito. And good is a relative term. But God, how do you fuck a taco up so hard? It's literally in your name. How do you do this?
Bonnie Worthington, research log 16671. It's the same signal. Dementia and codes and blueprints are all caused by the same signal from the marker. It's the people that are different. Smart people see codes and blueprints, but to everyone else it's just noise. Noise that drives you mad.
Again, some of these audio logs are really, really questionable. It just sounds like some silly nonsense a lot of the time. Whoops. Well, I thought I would do what I've been doing the whole time. Get forward, trigger it, and step back in time, but no such luck.
What is that? I can feel it in my head.
We're getting closer, Isaac. The marker knows you're here.
I still don't know what to do.
When the time comes, you will.
I don't know if I really explained this well in oh, shit. In Dead Space 1, but I remember way back they were describing a really interesting problem. In movies, the composer builds the music up as the tension escalates and crescendo hits in time with a big scare if it's a horror movie. And the composer can time that all out because movies play out in a perfectly linear way. Games, though, by their very nature, composer for a game
Looks like I have to dodge these lasers to make my way around the other side.
can't predict how to time the swelling of the music, so so long as the player has agency over how they're moving the scene along. It's a really tough problem to solve, right? It's one that I never really even thought about. So the solution for Dead Space was something that Visceral dubbed fear emitters, where you can have localized audio sources that fade in and out as you get close. You can have localized light sources, so you can use those sources placed around the map and attached to enemies and objects and all that. Really? That's the second death of the game, and it's once again to an environmental thing. Son of a bitch. The shitty part is the death wasn't even to the laser. I got a little bit too overeager and I ran into the solid part. God, what was I talking about? Right, so like every 3D game has like global and localized audio sources that fade, light sources, stuff like that. But with the fear emitters, they figured, okay, we can attach all of these different, you know, light and audio sources to different objects, to enemies. And these things can like play music, they can change how the sound is mixed, they can play sounds, so they can take care of all this this building to the scare on the fly, even though the player is in charge of moving the scene along. And they could do a bunch of other things with the goal of building up to whatever that big burst of tension is. Thought that was just a cool bit of problem solving. It's a little bit tough to sum up succinctly, but I think they've spoken at length about their fear emitters. It's quite cool. So for now, we've stopped the lasers, gotta lower the bridge so that we can get across. When I first did this, I was hoping that the puzzle would have something to do with, like, kinesising the lasers around. It would have also been a really interesting way to fight. Like, imagine if the lasers moved really slowly, and you didn't have refuge in those little side rooms, so you were forced to constantly fight necromorphs popping in from, like, from the ceiling or from floorboards or something, while also moving around with a laser. Or even if you could, like, kinesis the giant centrifuge in the middle in such a way that you could actually cut enemies down with it. There are a lot of cool things that they could have done with that sequence, That they just didn't, so it's kind of boring. And judging from the attire and all of the riot shields around here are some more of the EarthGov soldiers.
Kenner Phelps, research log 43546. Success. The marker layer held out.
Nope. Don't know why that stopped playing, but try to get that going again.
Kenner Phelps, research log 43546. Success. The marker layer held out. It is a fully expressed physical representation of the heuristic algorithms from patient 4, with no breakdowns. The construction schedule begins in earnest tomorrow. Celebration is tonight. I hope I don't black out in the middle of the party. I'm anxious, for some reason.
Yeah, Kinner's kind of a weirdo. But he did mention that they pulled some data out of the brain of a patient 4. Patient 4 was Isaac, in case you've forgotten. And this is a big party room. There is an enormous fight that's about to go down in here. Oh, they've already come up. Okay, first off... Whoa! That dude... something went really, really nuts with the way he was moving across the catwalk. He kind of just slid from one end to the other. Oh, I love you, Force Gun. I love you so much. I'm sorry that it took so long for me to get around to picking you up. I mean, compare all of the alternate weapons to those in Dead Space 1. It's like night and day. There's so many that are just way above average. In Dead Space 1, you had a couple of decent secondary weapons that you could go to. They were largely situational, but their uses were there. But in Dead Space 2, they all feel so powerful. Oh, we aren't even nearly done. Just I keep doing that by mistake. That's what I really want right now. So long as they're throwing small numbers at me. Whoops, didn't realize that was a spitter. I'm still not sure if it's done. There are a lot of waves to this fight. The most chaotic part is... Yeah, okay, the music's died down, so we're okay. I was gonna say, even if there was more, the most chaotic part is definitely done. Nope, nope, nope. And the music just builds back up. Fear emitter attached to that one enemy spawn? I don't know. Thankfully, the most chaotic part of that fight is right near the beginning. So even if something goes horribly wrong and you have to restart the checkpoint, or if you die, you don't really have to slog through too much to get back to the hard part. I really hate getting all this ammo for things I do not have. Especially when it's not from fixed drops, when it's from random necromorph drops. Yeah. Even from kind of mid-range, the force gun won't do an enormous amount of damage, but if you just need to get yourself some breathing room, once again, mid-range, it still shines. It'll still knock things back. sometimes it's all about just buying yourself some time. And part dos. Part 2 is not really that bad. Especially not compared to the one that we just survived. Uh-oh. Yeah, I heard you. That alt fire though. Need to be a little bit careful, I only have one shot. Okay, now we're good. Come on, get them both. We should get caught. Yep. Oh, shit, we got a spitter, though. Chill. Chill, chill, chill. This is the fight that never ends. I don't think there's a single gun in this game that has a better game feel than the Force gun either, especially when you're up close. Especially when something is stasised, you fire one burst and every single limb flies off at once in slow motion. There's nothing that feels that good. The hallmark of a really, really well-designed gun is that you just like to pull the trigger. Just feels good to hit the buttons. Nope. Oh, we got another brute. This one happens to be an enhanced brute, but we got pretty good contact beam going. So, he ain't shit. I would like that semiconductor, though, please. Please? Oh, this... Anything else? Nah. Okay, we're cool. Oh. I almost missed that.
Phelps, research log 43549. I blacked out early last night and woke up this morning staring at a tiny, fully formed version of the marker in one of the crystal air printing baths. I had entered the entire heuristic sequencing algorithm. I can still hear it in my mind, like a song now. I know the dementia suppressors are working, but this is something entirely different.
Wait, was that one extra one? I couldn't tell. Felt like an extra hack. Okay, is this the room I think? Yes, it is. It's like the end of Empire. Also, look how ludicrously huge this place is. This is nonsense. That makes no sense whatsoever for this facility to be that size. It's ridiculous.
Phelps, research log 43553. I'm convinced we are puppets of some alien influence. I no longer believe we're in control of this project, or ever were. I believe even our rationalizations for this whole thing are an illusion, planted by the forces behind the original marker. The black one. We don't know how to make this thing. It is making us make it. And it's trying to get out, desperately. I'm under security watch after taking a sledgehammer to the tiny marker I built last week. We need to destroy everything we've built here, and destroy every record, every shred of research. They were right the first time on Aegis VII. This is beyond our ability to know or control. I have to go. My supervisor is whispering to the security guard.
Dire. From Overseer, Tideman disappointed in the evacuation decision. Consequences will be dire, that is all. The black marker, by the way, is the one they found back on Earth in the first place that Altman found. Anyway, that is going to do it for now. Next time, we're heading into the endgame stretch. Take it easy. Have a good one, everyone.